यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मोक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं
हेलो
यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मोक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ त्र्यम्बकं 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 यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मोक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Thank you.
11
आज मैं जो भजन गाने जाने वाली हूँ वो अगर आप आंख और बंद करके सोचे तो जैसे कि राधा जब कृष्ण श्री कृष्ण को मिलने जाती थी, राधा जी तो क्या बोलती होगी, ऐसा कुछ उसमें भाव है।
वेरी नाइस। उसके बाद पंकज भाई और उसके बाद आज मैं एक भजन सुनाऊंगा।
वेरी गुड
वेरी गुड।
Sorry, problem with the mic, but this is. Sorry.
I'm sorry about that.
Technique.
मेरे सिस्टम बंद थी।
कोई बात
तेरी मुरली की धुन सुनने मैं बरसाने से आई हूँ। तेरी मुरली की धुन सुनने मैं बरसाने से आई हूँ। मैं बरसाने से आई हूँ। मैं वृषभानु की जाई हूँ। अरे रसिया ओ मन बसिया मैं इतनी दूर से आई हूँ। तेरी मुरली की धुन सुनने मैं बरसाने से आई हूँ। सुना है श्याम मन मोहन की माखन खूब चुराते हो। सुना है श्याम मन मोहन की माखन खूब चुराते हो। की माखन खूब चुराते हो। तुम्हें माखन खिलाने को मैं मटकी साथ लाई हूँ। मैं बरसाने से आई हूँ। मैं वृषभानु की जाई हूँ। अरे रसिया ओ मन बसिया मैं इतनी दूर से आई हूँ। सुना है श्याम मन मोहन की गौए खूब चराते हो। सुना है श्याम मन मोहन की गौए खूब चराते हो। की गौए खूब चराते हो। तेरी गौए चराने को मैं ग्वाल साथ लाई हूँ। तेरी गौए चराने को मैं ग्वाल साथ लाई हूँ। मैं बरसाने से आई हूँ। मैं वृषभानु की जाई हूँ। सुना है श्याम मन मोहन की कृपा खूब करते हो। सुना है श्याम मन मोहन की कृपा खूब करते हो। की कृपा खूब करते हो। तेरी कृपा मैं पाने को तेरे दरबार आई हूँ। हूँ, तेरी कृपा मैं पाने को तेरे दरबार आई हूँ। तेरी मुरली की धुन सुनने मैं बरसाने से आई हूँ, मैं बरसाने से आई हूँ, मैं विश्वभानु की जाई हूँ। अरे रसिया वो मन बसिया मैं इतनी दूर से आई हूँ, तेरी कृपा मैं पाने को तेरे दरबार आई हूँ। जय श्री कृष्ण।
जय श्री कृष्ण। वेरी नाइस।
थैंक यू।
कल शंकर भगवान जी को सबने याद किया था।
हाँ,
आज मैं याद करना चाहता हूँ।
वेरी गुड।
क्योंकि कल तो बड़ी भीड़ हुई होगी उनके दरबार में।
अरे पूछो नहीं।
मैंने सोचा आज शायद हमारी सुनेंगे।
सुनेंगे, हमेशा सुनेंगे।
आओ भोले शंकर पधारो।
ठीक है।
हे भोले शंकर पधारो, हे भोले शंभू पधारो, बैठे चुप के कहाँ जटा धारी पधारो, बैठे चुप के कहाँ गंगा जटा में तुम्हारी, हो गंगा जटा में तुम्हारी। हम प्यासे यहाँ महा सती के पति, मेरी सुनो वंदना। हे भोले शंकर पधारो, बैठे चुप के कहाँ आओ मुक्ति के दाता, ओ आओ मुक्ति के दाता। पड़ा संकट यहाँ महा सती के पति, बोलो छुपे हो कहाँ, है बोले। भगीरथ को गंगा प्रभु तुमने दी थी, सगर जी को पुत्रों को मुक्ति मिली थी। नीलकंठ महादेव हमें है भरोसा, इच्छा तुम्हारी बिन कुछ भी न होता, है बोले शंकर पधारो। हे गौरी शंकर पधारो, किसने रोका वहाँ आयो, बस मर मैया सबको तज के यहाँ आयो, बस मर मैया सबको तज के यहाँ, है बोले। मेरी तपस्या का फल चाहे ले लो, गंगा जल अब अपने भक्तों को दे दो। प्राण पंखेरू कहीं प्यासा उड़ जाए ना, कोई तेरी करुणा पे उंगली उठाए ना। भिक्षा में मांगू जन कल्याण की, भिक्षा में मांगू जन कल्याण की, इच्छा करो पूरी गंगा स्नान की। अब ना देर करो आके कष्ट हरो, मेरी बात रख लो मेरी लाज रख लो। है बोले गंगाधर पधारो, है बोले विषधर पधारो, डोरी टूट जाए ना मेरा, जग में नहीं कोई तेरे बिना मेरा, जग में नहीं तेरे बिना। है बोले है बोले शंकर पधारो। नमस्ते।
वेरी नाइस, थैंक यू पंकज भाई।
थैंक यू थैंक यू थैंक यू।
तो ये बात है 1957 की। एक मूवी आई थी जन्म जन्म के फेरे, उसका एक गाना बहुत मशहूर हुआ था जो था जरा सामने तो आओ चलिए। तो उसके जो गीतकार थे वो भरत व्यास जी थे। भरत व्यास जी, उनका एक बेटा था श्याम सुंदर। तो उस साल में वो बेटे की बाप की कुछ बिगड़ गई तो बेटा घर छोड़ के चला गया। तो उन्होंने डिसाइड किया कि मैं अब गाना नहीं लिखूंगा। तो एक मनमोहन देसाई और सुभाष देसाई थे, वो मूवी बना रहे थे। तो वो उनके पास गए तो उन्होंने बोला कि आपको हमारे लिए गाना लिखना पड़ेगा। वो बोलते मेरा बेटा मेरे से छूट के चला गया तो मैं अब गाना नहीं लिखता। तो उनकी वाइफ ने कहा देखो आप ऐसा करो अपने बेटे के लिए लिखो, आप अपने लिए नहीं लिखो। तो फिर उन्होंने जो है ये गाना लिखा, जरा सामने तो आओ चलिए, छुप छुप चलने में क्या राज है, यूं छुप ना सकेगा परमात्मा, मेरी आत्मा की ये आवाज है। फिर उसके बाद उन्होंने एक और गाना लिखा, आ लौट के आजा मेरे मीर, आ लौट के आजा मेरे मीत, तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं। मेरा सूना पड़ा ये संगीत, मेरा सूना पड़ा ये संगीत, तुझे मेरे गीत बुलाते हैं। तो वो जैसे वो बेटे ने वो गाना सुना तो घर वापस आ गया। तो इतने खुश हुए, फिर उन्होंने बहुत सारे गाने लिखे। लेकिन जो उनके बाद में एक उन्होंने कहा कि मैं भगवान से प्रार्थना लिखना चाहता हूँ जो आज हम सब लोग सब जगह गाते हैं। ऐ मालिक तेरे बंदे हम, ऐसे हो हमारे करम, नेकी पर चलें और बदी से टलें, ताकि हंसते हुए निकले दम। ऐ मालिक तेरे बंदे हम, ये अंधेरा घना छा रहा, तेरा इंसान घबरा रहा, हो रहा बेखबर कुछ ना आता नजर, सुख का सूरज छुपा जा रहा है, तेरी रोशनी में जो दम, तू अमावस को कर दे पूनम, नेकी पर चलें और बदी से टलें, ताकि हंसते हुए निकले दम। ऐ मालिक तेरे बंदे हम, बड़ा कमजोर है आदमी, अभी लाखों है इसमें कमी। है तू जो खड़ा दयालु बड़ा, तेरी कृपा से धरती थमी। दिया तूने हमें जब जन्म, तू ही झेलेगा हम सबके गम। नेकी पर चलें और बदी से टलें, ताकि हंसते हुए निकले दम। ऐ मालिक तेरे बंदे हम, जब जुल्मों का हो सामना, तब तू ही हमें थामना। वो बुराई करे हम भलाई करें, नहीं बदले की हो कामना। बढ़ उठे प्यार कर हर कदम, और मिटे वैर का ये भरम। नेकी पर चलें और बदी से टलें, ताकि हंसते हुए निकले दम। है मालिक तेरे बंदे हम। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
बहुत सुंदर अरुण भाई, बहुत सुंदर।
थैंक यू। प्रार्थना का यही है कि इसीलिए जो मैंने चंद्र जी से शुरू किया 11 बार महामृत्युंजय सबके लिए करवाना, कि हम सबके लिए प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं। ऐसे टाइम हैं आजकल, चैलेंजिंग टाइम्स हैं सब फैमिलीज के लिए ही। तो क्या पता कि हमारी प्रार्थना से किसका भला हो, तो करते चलिए। ना हमें पता था कहाँ जा रहे, ना हमें पता है कहाँ जाएंगे, तो बस प्रार्थना ही कीजिए। भावना जी, कपाड़िया साहब आ गए हैं तो।
हाँ जी, अभी 4 मिनट बाकी है। तो
अच्छा
लेट मी जस्ट टेक द एडवांटेज के थोड़ी अनाउंसमेंट्स कर दूं मैं।
चलिए, गुड।
मैंने 2 फ्लायर चैट बॉक्स में डाले हैं फॉर आवर अपकमिंग इवेंट्स। नेक्स्ट फ्राइडे वी हैव Maithili Krishnan and Anjali Nath who will be performing, and they are just amazing. Maithili Krishnan has been here for and performed for our temple before, and she will be doing 10 shlokas from Narayaniam, which she has recited before as well. But with that, she will also be explaining these 10 shlokas. It'll take about a little more than an hour, and maybe 10 minutes, hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15 minutes. And then Anjali Nath is going to be doing a dance performance, Kathak dance performance. She's a very renowned Kathak performer, and she has agreed to do several programs for us at the temple. And she will be doing a segment of her from the, oh, I'm having a senior moment here, sorry, Sita Haran, um, um, from her play, a dance performance play. So I think it's going to be a very nice evening. So please do join us. And then on Saturdays, March 27th, we have a little bit of a different program. It's going to be live streamed from India, straight from India, on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. And I put the flyer there as well. And that's going to be to celebrate Holi. So it's going to be a little lighter program, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And we are still planning a program for celebrating Holi in person on Sunday, March 28th, and it's going to be outdoors, probably in the parking lot at Royal Palace. So you'll be hearing more details about that, but please keep your calendars open for that. We haven't seen each other in a long time. We will be doing it safely with social distancing. Most of us or many of us have already been vaccinated, so we are safe to a certain extent. but we will still be there with masks and social distancing and hand sanitizers and all that stuff. But you know, let's brave it a little bit, and let's get together and meet. And what a wonderful occasion to do that as Holi. So you know, more details will be forthcoming on that. Ha, Pankaj bhai, you had a question? No. Okay. All right. So it is 6:28. Jatin bhai, do you still want to wait another 2 minutes, or it's up to you. You're muted, so if you could just unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying it's your choice.
No, you can start whenever.
Okay, we
Yeah.
can start.
Yeah.
Also, we'll need the host privileges to share
Yeah.
screen.
So let me just do that. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm just trying to locate him. There we are. તમે મળી જાઓ છો ને પછી ચાલી જાઓ છો ત્યાંથી લિસ્ટમાંથી એટલે I'm having a hard time. Okay. All right, got you. Okay.
Wonderful. Okay. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vitvishavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Hari Om. So we are not, ordinarily what I usually do is we pick a book and we start from first sloka to last sloka of each one of the book. Like most books have anything between 30 to 100 slokas, except Bhagavad Gita, which has 700 slokas. So instead of that, we just picked a couple of topics, totally independent, though that also belongs to some book. But this time today, we will talk about charity. And next time, I think we will talk about Vanprasthashram. But both of them do belong to some book. So let's start with the charity. And all right. So this shloka is from Bhagavad Gita. It is chapter 17 and 20th shloka. And we can either chant together or I'll chant 2 times at least. Datavyamiti yad danam diyate nupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam srutam datavyamiti yad danam diyate nupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smrutam. So the meaning is underneath. It says that the charity given to a worthy person simply because it is right thing to do to give without consideration of anything in return at the proper time and in the proper place is stated to be the mode of goodness or a sattvic charity. So let's talk about it a little bit. So what usually happens is that we all think, and it is natural to think that way, is that I worked hard, it is my money, I made the money, or my family did, and it is mine. And I have no business sharing with anybody else. If somebody else the part of it, then let him work and let him study and let him make money and let him enjoy. So the tendency is, and it certainly was, even with me, when things are a little different now, but when I came to America, I graduated and immediately after that I came here. And my thoughts were, hey, listen, I studied for so many years and I'm working so hard and so many hours. So whatever I make is mine and it's for my family and I can do what I choose to do. Well, there is a little psychological problem according to the scriptures. What happens is that mind, that creates a wall, which is a psychological wall between us and the rest of the world. Because we start thinking, this car is mine. Nobody has any business touching it. And when especially it's a new car, and if you work in Brooklyn, you have to watch out because people are going to sit on it. People are going to bang it. People will do whatever that they do. And initially, hey, don't touch my car. I paid for it. It's a new car. You can't touch it. The same way with our clothes and our house and all our possessions. And somebody comes, we buy the house, it's brand new. Somebody comes into the house. Can you please take off your shoes? Can you make sure don't touch this one? If you're eating something with yellow or different color, make sure that wash your hands before you touch anything. I don't want my sofa to be ruined. It is all mine, mine, and mine. So there is a wall, and the wall is between me and everybody else. That causes suffocation. That causes us separation from everybody else. And that is a feeling of imprisonment. Now, let's improve that feeling of imprisonment. Suppose your nephew or niece comes from India and lives in your house. Now, instead of two people, there is a third person. And that third person uses everything that we have in the house, eating and bathroom and bedroom. And now what happened is that you are sharing with somebody else. So now there is an expansion of, it was only mine and it was only for me and my wife. Now there is a third person. And then you share with that third person. And you give, you sacrifice, you automatically spend some money. But you feel good because now you're expanding to third person. You are settled here a little bit, you call 10 friends to your house. And they call you, and you call them, and one of them will call you again. And it goes on and on and on. So now what happens? Every time they come to us, we spend money, we spend time, We buy the grocery. We cook for them. We clean before they come. We clean after they leave. So there is a sacrifice involved. Now that sacrifice has a big benefit that we are expanding into from 2 to 3 to now 20 people. So the expansion keeps happening every time we sacrifice. Now that is a rule. That's how it works all the time. We never think in those terms, but every time we spend and every time we share and every time we give, then the greater and greater expansion occurs. And each time we expand, we are happy. We are happy that we helped somebody. Now, that help or that giving can be in any form. Let's say if you're cutting grass and your neighbor is very elderly and you say, can I cut your grass too? It doesn't matter. It will take me only 10 minutes. And he or she would say yes, and you cut the grass and you come home and take the shower. You feel so good. I helped my neighbor. That is because now you expanded to another person. So more and more expansion is better and better we feel. That is a human mind. That is psychological effect. And nobody's doing anything. Nobody's giving you anything back, but you still feel good because you are sharing. Now, what if we do some things which is good for the whole world? Remember, it says, Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The whole universe, the whole world is your family. And if we do something which is good for greater and greater number of people, then we are greater and greater enjoying or having a joy or distributing our happiness. We are all happier than what we were. So the idea is that loneliness, only me and only mine, is suffocating. And it has a sorrow built in. But sharing has no more suffocation. It is expansion, and automatically we are happier and happier. That's the way it is all the time. We don't notice it because we don't think in those terms. So, of course, every one of us more wealth because it will be useful. It will be useful in future, and we can use the wealth. So who doesn't want it? Everybody wants it. It's quite understandable. But I think the attitude of the people in US, those who are born here, those who are here for a longer period of time, their attitude starts changing a little bit. Sometimes a 6-year-old boy or an 8-year-old boy in the school, somebody doesn't have the money to buy the lunch. He will give his money. Okay, let's share. Sharing is a very good attitude, which is kind of built in America. And maybe the government helps it, maybe the society helps it. But if you see some of the things like the big libraries in Manhattan and museums in Manhattan, and you'll be surprised, no government money can buy this. Only the charity money can buy that. And there are people who leave millions and millions and give it in charity. There are so many examples of people buying or people writing in their will the whole millions and millions of dollars they own, that when I die, everything goes for the charity in this college or this university or this place. And that's how the colleges and universities makes millions and millions. That's how they survive, basically, from charity. The fees cannot make the university survive. It is the charity which helps the university survive. But that attitude is a wonderful, wonderful attitude. One guy asked his father that I really deserve 50,000, but they're giving me 45,000. Should I accept it? And they thought, yeah, I'll accept the job. And then the father said, what if it was 40? Would you accept it? He said, yeah, I would accept it. Hey, I have no job. So I would accept $40,000 a year job. He said, you know what? You accept 45,000 job, but the remaining 5,000, you make a point to share with other people. See, if we share 5,000 when we were making 45 or 50, it's 10% of our income, but we feel so good, and it is only 5,000 we can afford to spend. Now, when we make 200,000, we don't want to give donation 20,000. And when we make million, we don't want to give 100,000, though it turns out to be the same 10%. You are left with greater amount. But we are not used to that tradition of sharing 10% with other people. Whatever is the right cause. Now, there are other places, like even we had that's at Seventh Adventist Church? Seventh Day Adventist Church. And one of our secretary used to go there. And there are other places too, especially all Muslim places, and they go to gather to pray. But every one of them must share. We Hindus don't force that. So we just don't have a habit of sharing. But in other religion and in other places and in other churches, they are mandated to share. And if they don't share, then they don't go there. They won't be allowed to go eventually. It's a good habit in some way. Even those nations, like let's say United Kingdom, England took over Hindustan. What did they do? They robbed the country. Where are they now? They are being robbed, or they are in calamity. There is no discipline, there is no economy. Everybody goes there and lives on welfare. So they are in trouble. So not only that our Papa brings us and suffering to us, even the nation's Papa make them suffer. So ultimately, what happened in the history of last 2, 3, 4,000 years, that all the European countries, one after the other, they became the boss and they conquered the rest of the, or the bulk of the other countries in the world. All of them, where are they now? Nowhere. They can't support themselves. So our problems make us suffer, and nation's problem also make nation suffer. Sharing is great. Now, what we think is that our mind, the way our mind works, is that I worked hard, and if I make 100,000, I must keep it. We don't remember, or we don't calculate that, yes, the roads need to be maintained, the bridges need to be maintained, the airport needs to be maintained. We drink water, we take this electricity for granted that we have to have it. We have to now have cell phone, we have to have WhatsApp, we have to have cable TV. Everything is being provided to us by somebody, and it is our responsibility to share. We don't count that. We only think that, it's me, I earned it. Let's put it in a different way. Is that a receptionist works 40 hours a week. The boss works 40 hours a week. A lawyer works 40 hours a week. And the CEO works 40 hours a week. Everybody works 40 hours a week. But look at the discrepancy in the income. It ranges from 30,000 to 30 million. But everybody works 40 hours a week. And everybody thinks that my work is a very hard work. Ask receptionist, ask cashier. They say, oh my God, it's a tiring work. I can't stand here for 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day. I need to sit somewhere because it's a hard work. So to everybody, it's a hard work. So who is deciding this? Not us. Society is deciding this, that your work is worth this much amount. The society is giving us that salary, that the teacher, you are worth 60,000, so you get 60,000. The actor, you are worth 160,000, so you get 160,000. And you, the CEO or COO, you are worth 10 million, so you get 10 million. Who decides that? The society decides that. And we think that, oh, I deserve it. I earned it. It's mine. The scriptures which are written 5,000 years ago, they describe a different things, that how we should be distributing what we have. And even when we had very little, remember that the first roti mom used to make it in India goes to a cow. Another roti she used to make goes to the birds. And then the rest of the rotis we all share. So even in Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 3, it prescribes that we all should be doing 5 yajnas every day. Yajna means sharing. Yajna means sacrifice. So the 5 different kinds of sacrifice we must be doing every single day of our life. We don't, but we should. And some people do it once a week. Some people do it once in few weeks, whichever way we can. One is Deva Yajna. We should pray to the Ishwaras, and everybody has a different Ishwara at home. Some people believe in Ram, some people believe in Krishna, some people believe in Devi, some people believe in Hanuman, some people believe in Ganesha, and some people believe in Jesus Christ, etc. So everybody has an Ishwara. Also, the nature is Ishvara. So then we should be praying to the nature, means take care of the nature. We should have the Brahma Yajna. So first was Deva Yajna, second was Brahma Yajna. Brahma is Supreme Lord or Brahman or Atma. That is the second one. Third is Pitru Yajna. Even if Pitru are not around, we think of them and we follow their best talent, try to adapt their values and virtues in us. That is Pitru Yajna. Fourth is Manushya Yajna or Nra Yajna. Nara is a man, is a human being. And Nara or Nra Yajna or Manushya Yajna. And the last is Bhuta Yajna. Bhuta is the one who can't talk. That means the animals and birds and other lives. We should be doing that every single day. Again, this was in the 3rd chapter, 10th shloka, that Prajapati is the one. See, the Supreme Lord does not create. That job is given to the person next to the Supreme Lord, which is called Prajapati. And in a way, Brahmaji is a Prajapati. Brahmaji had a son who was a Prajapati too. And they were in charge of creation of the whole of the mankind universe, not even just the mankind. So the moment Prajapati created the first couple, second couple, third couple, his advice to everyone is that share and grow. Very simple. 2 words, share and grow. What does that mean? That share means donate. The share means charity. The share means care for other people. And then grow and create more people in the world. So more and more people are there, more and more sharing has to happen. The same thing in our family too, that if there is a 1 child, then you have to share husband, wife, and 1 child. But if there are 6 children, then husband, wife, and 6 children. So share and grow was the first advice of Prajapati when he created the first couple in the world. But we run after Lakshmi because that is what is our kind of tendency. So I know. My brother is looking, he's pointing at her. So we run after Lakshmi, and Gurudev used to say, you are making a mistake. Don't run after Lakshmi. You will never catch. Run after Narayan. And wherever is Narayan, there is Lakshmi. In other words, run after the Lord. Run after the values and virtues. And wherever there is values and virtues, there is a wealth. So run after Narayan, you will get Lakshmi automatically. She's always there. Okay, so even the Chinmaya Mission pledge, if Bina remembers Chinmaya Mission pledge, remember in between say, we live honestly the noble life of sacrifice and service, producing more than consume and giving more than we take. It is a part of the pledge. It is kind of a kindergarten item, but we somehow grow up and we forget. So I am going to give some of the examples of how the things are and how does it affect and how should we put it in our life. Again in third chapter, because third chapter was a karma yoga. So Lord Krishna kept on giving a lot of advice about how much or how should be our behavior in our life. And one of the shlokas in third chapter, Bhagavan Krishna says, the one who cooks for himself, the one who cooks for himself is a papi, is sinful. And it bothers us. What are you talking about, man? Everybody cooks for himself. No, one who cooks for himself only, that person is sinful. Why? Because the whole world is supporting us. The river is supporting us. The mango tree is supporting us. The little creepers are supporting us by giving the vegetables. The sun is supporting us. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the light and we wouldn't have the warmth. So if you think hard, even butterfly is supporting us. We need the earthworm too. 100% of what is it that some 86 million different species in the world, all of them, 84 million, all of them get together and make our life what it is today. If there are no Brahmas and if there are no butterflies, humans will die. I mean, it's a ridiculous statement. But then there is no cross-pollination, then there is no seeds, then there are no fruits, then there is no vegetables, then there is no plant kingdom, then there is no animal kingdom, then there is no human kingdom. It's a very calculated method, mathematically calculated by the scientists, that if those little species die or somehow disappear from the earth, we humans will disappear from the earth. See how much we depend on other species. We cannot live without other species. So we get the share of their hard work to us and we have to return it to them. Now it's a story time. So I'm going to tell you several stories. It's fun time. No more using brain. Okay. Story number one. Krishna and Arjuna, they were walking. And usually there are not those many beggars, but there was one. And he was crying. He said, please give me something. I lost my job. I don't have food. My wife is at home. She doesn't know what to cook because we have no grocery. So please help me. So Arjun said, listen, I'm giving you this bag. This bag has 100 gold coins. Go and be happy for the rest of your life. So he started thinking, man, thank you very much. Now I can buy new clothes for myself. I can buy new clothes for my wife. I can buy the grocery. I can buy the new parts in the house. I will paint the house from inside. I will clean up the whole place. Maybe I will sell some of the gold coins and start a small business. I like pottery. Maybe I will do that. And he plans and plans and plans. The way he was holding the bag of gold coins, somebody noticed. And a robber came and he said, give me that bag. Okay, no way I'm giving you this bag. You don't have a choice. You have to give me the bag or I'm going to kill you right now. So he gave the bag and he lost the bag. He went home hungry. Next day he was begging again. Next day again, Krishna and Arjuna saw him. And I gave you so much money yesterday. Why are you begging today? He said, yes, somebody robbed me. So I lost all the money. So Arjun said, listen, I don't have gold today, but I have this very precious jewel. It is 10 times more than the gold I gave you. I'm going to give you now. Take care of it, sell it, and you will be a very rich man and you will never have to beg again. He started the same story all over again. With this, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do this. Then let me hide it. I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not even going to tell my wife. So he found some old pot, clay pot, and he knows that my wife doesn't use it. So he put that coin, that jewel inside. His wife next morning went to get the water to the river. So she broke the pot she usually uses. So now she picked up the old pot. And because it is an old pot, she went to the river and she washed it very well upside down. And then she filled water and she came back. So he comes home and he said, what happened to my old pot? I got water because I broke the new pot. So I got the water from the river in this old pot. But what happened to the diamond inside, to the jewel inside? I don't know, there was a jewel. I cleaned it. The whole thing is now gone. It's not there. The third day he was begging again. When I lost all the gold, I lost all the jewel. Now I have nothing. So third day Krishna said, I just have 2 rupees. We don't have any more coins and any more jewels. I'll give it to you. So he gave 2 rupees to that guy. Whatever you can buy, you go home and eat today. You figure it out tomorrow what to do. So he's passing again, and he saw that somebody was catching the fish from the river. And one fish was jumping around. She wasn't dead. So he said, this 2 rupees, can I have the fish? Sure, take it. So he took the fish and he put it in his pot and he put some water and he went all the way up to the corner of the river. And then he took the fish out and threw in the water. He saved the life of fish. Now, this was the fish who swallowed the jewel. And when that fish was in the pot, she vomited. So now the jewel is in the pot. And he freed the fish and threw back in the river. So he screamed, I got it, I got it, I got it. And at that time, that thief was passing by. And he thought that I got caught. So he said, don't send me to prison. I will give you your bag back. So now he got his bag of gold, he got his jewel, he went back home, and then Arjun said, Krishna, what did you do? I gave so much gold and you made it be stolen. I gave the jewel and you threw it in the river, and you gave 2 rupees and he got everything back. Krishna said, listen and listen carefully. First day when I gave, he only thought of himself. It was not supposed to be only for him, but he wanted the benefit of that gold for himself and his wife only. So I got him robbed. Next day, you gave the jewel. Again, he's selfish. He's only thinking of himself. So I threw that diamond in the water. Third day, with 2 rupees, he wanted to save the life. So I gave him everything back. We got to learn that. The way he thinks is different. And we somehow can't let it go what we have. Why can't we share? Everything we got is somebody somehow gave us. We came to America with nothing. We tell this story to our children all the time, that I came to America with $8 and look, I have 10 million now. How hard I work. It's all me, me, and me. So think of this story. Now, again, I'm going to keep telling the story today. A very rich miser. Story number 2. Whatever time is left, we will go on with the stories. There was a rich but miser man who went to the heaven. So the Apsara got him. Okay, welcome, sir. Welcome to heaven. And she's taking him, and he saw the first beautiful palace. And he said, oh my God, this place is amazing. And then another beautiful palace, another beautiful house, another beautiful house. He keeps on looking right and left and right and left, all beautiful, beautiful homes. And ultimately they made a turn, and there was a tiny little broken hut. And she said, we arrived at the destination. This hut is yours. The guy said, I'm a multi-millionaire. What the heck are you talking about? Everybody gets a palace and I get this tiny hut. She said, you know, sir, whatever you donated, we used it up, but we couldn't build anything better than this. We have so many, and now on WhatsApp, every day we get something. And there are so many stories, each one of them telling the same thing. That we know, every one of us know, we cannot even take the shirt with us when we live. Now remember, when we die, we leave the body here. What goes is Jivatma. Jivatma is a combination of Jiva plus Atma. Jiva is our Antakarana. That is our mind and intellect. We take it with us. And we have a new body when we reach heaven. So we leave the current body right here when we live. And that is either buried or cremated or whatever. So the currency in the heaven is not what we own here. Even we are not going there. But the Jivatma is going there. That Jivatma includes mind. That mind has a storage. The storage of what? Two things. One is vasana, our desires, and second is karma. Karma is our pap and punya. So that's what we carry there. If we have abundance of pap and no punya, we don't go to heaven, we go to hell. If we have more of punya and less of pap, we do go to heaven. But the length of the time we spend in the heaven is thousands and thousands of years. The length of the time we keep here on the Mrityulok is about 100 years. Most people live only between 80 and 90. Some are gone before that time. So our life expectancy on earth is very little. If we do punya, our life expectancy in the heaven is very, very, very long. And the seventh level of heaven, which only the best and the most bhakta and the people who have most punya, they get to the seventh level. That Satya Loka, the stay can be as much as 4.3 billion years. Only if we live well here for 100 years. Now that's a maximum. But if we are in the middle of the yuga, which we are, then those many years are less. At the end of 1000 Chatur Yuga, even the heaven is destroyed. And there will be rebirth after the new creation. This is a very big theory which comes in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. But it takes a long time to make everybody understand what I said, why I said. But it is definitely there in our scriptures. It's just that we don't read and we don't know, so we don't have a complete knowledge of that. So our job from today onwards is to collect as much punya as we can, as long as we live. That's our job. That's what we should be doing. I'll give you one more story. Today is a story time. Okay. So Vivekananda, this is true. This is true. Vivekananda met Rockefeller. They both were at the same time in New York. That was in New York. And he asked Rockefeller for donation. Rockefeller was still growing. So he said, forget it. I don't have money for you. Okay, not for me, for somebody else. But you should donate. Okay, but not now, and forget about it. Don't come back to me. Time passed. Now Rockefeller is very successful. He came looking for Vivekananda. And he was sitting in the library in Manhattan. So Rockefeller went there. He wrote a big check and he gave it to him. And he said, thank you. So Vivekananda looked at him. I thank you? Are you crazy? You thank me. Wait, I'm the one who is writing you a big check. Why should I thank you? I'm the only one who gives you the opportunity to earn punya. Do you want to do it or you don't want to do it? I thank you or you thank me? What are you talking about? And Rockefeller left. Now let's think. What do we do? Even if we write $100, we are expecting somebody will thank us. And if we write $1,000, we are expecting somebody will call us on the stage. And if we write $100,000, forget it. I mean, we expect so much. So who should thank who? Why? Let's think. You are getting the opportunity to earn punya. You thank the person to whom you give. Another story. There was one sant, and he used to get a lot, and he used to give a lot. Nothing is his. This man's mind is already changed. He has nothing. He wants nothing. He owns nothing. He wants to have nothing. So whatever he receives, he gives back. So when he gives back, he looks down. And somebody asked him, why do you do that? He said, listen, nothing was mine. What I got is also not mine. If something is not mine and I'm giving, how can I say that I'm giving? And I'm giving to who? Another person. Who is that another person? He himself is Brahman. It was God's money. It was God's property or fruits or whatever I have. And I'm giving back to another God. Who is giving to who? Why should I be proud? It was never mine to begin with. The principle of karma is a very, very long, big theory of karma. Sanchita karma is all our past actions which results in pap and punya. Prarabdha karma is what is happening to us today. This is what we are living. We are enjoying the karma. If we are suffering, then also it is prarabdha that we are suffering. And that is the end result of our past pap and punya. Agami karma is what we are doing now will have the result in the future. So this is Chinmayananda's standard statement. Future is the continuation of past. Future is the continuation of past modified by the present. In other words, we decide what our future will be by doing our current action, which must be full of punya, if we want to benefit, if we want to be happy. If our current actions are papa, negative, damaging the society, then our future is bleak and no God is giving you punishment. It is we who decide what our future should be. And that is by our current action. So it's not anybody else is giving you something. God is not giving you or punishing you or giving you a bad disease or a cancer or a premature death. God is not giving you the accident in which you lose your leg. And God is not making you win the lotto either. Whatever we are either enjoying is suffering is only the end result of what our actions in the past were. And whatever we do today will decide what should be our future. Whether we want to be happy, whether we want to be unhappy, whether we want to go to heaven, or we want to go to hell, or we want to have a higher life, or we want to have a lower life. It all depends on our actions today. So what we want in our future is up to us. We still have 13 minutes. So I'll tell you one more story. There was a woman in a shoe store, and there was a kid looking from outside in, and he almost had tears in his eyes, and he was really staring at the sneakers. So she went out and she got the kid inside, and he was bleeding from his feet because he didn't have shoes. That woman cleaned his feet, got the socks, got the appropriate sneakers, and that little child is asking that woman, "Are you God's wife?" See, what you earn right away. You don't even have to wait for future to earn what you earn. The results are instant. Dana, the donation, the contribution to whatever the right cause should be abundant, should be continuously given. The sharing should be the part of our life. And if somebody doesn't want to believe, that's fine. That's what you're going to get. And that's not me. It's not my feeling. That is our scriptures feeling. That's what the scriptures say. I still got 10 minutes. So whatever I said now was the sattvic actions, the sattvic donation, the sattvic charity. Now for a few minutes, we'll think about, or we'll look into what is rajasic charity and what is tamasic charity. So let's go to the next shloka. Yattu pratyupakarartham phalamuddishya va punaha diyate cha pariklishtam taddanam rajasam smrutam. Yattu pratyupakarartham phalamuddishya va punaha diyate cha pariklishtam taddanam rajasam smrutam. That is a rajasic charity. What is that? It is given with reluctance, with the hope of something coming back because I'm giving today, in the expectation of reward of what I am giving in charity, is said to be the rajasic charity. See, I wanted to make sure about one more point in the last shloka, is that I want everyone to think and understand. If you call how we are living today, we are in heaven. We are in heaven right now. The reason why I say that is, compared to the most of the world, we live in the best circumstances. We live with the best clothing on. We live in the best houses. We have the most collection. we have the maximum wealth, we have the most comforts. So if somebody says that the heaven is on earth, we are in heaven. And the reason why we are in heaven is because of our actions in the past. Bhagavan has not given us. He gave us the birth in India. And that's where we were. But we came here because of the actions of this life or the previous life. So whatever we are enjoying today is the best that there is. Now, there is no guarantee that the future will be equally good or the future will have a better life if we don't act better today. The better doesn't come automatically. We can't do papa and expect reward. It's never going to happen. To expect rewards, we must do the actions today which requires rewards in the future. So whatever we have today is probably the best. And if we want the best in the future, either in this life or the next life, we have to do the best in this life now. If not, again, the principle of karma, the law of karma, it is automatic that if we don't do good now, we will not have the good future in this life and the next life. So once again, we make our own future. Bhagavan doesn't make our future. Bhagavan doesn't look at us. He doesn't have time. 7 billion people. Who has time? So we make our own futures. Now, the meaning of this shloka is the best example. Charity or giving to the politicians. That is Rajasic giving. Why is it a Rajasic giving? Because every single person who writes a big check to a politician expects something in back, something in return. Either he makes a laws, rules, which benefit me, so I make more money, or I save more money, or I pay less taxes, or I get more comforts, or I get more benefits, or I get $1,400 check, or whatever it is. Whenever we give donation to the politician, we expect something in return. That is a Rajasic donation. That is a Rajasic charity. We had somebody who insisted that if you want the charity from me, I get to get the podium in your annual function. I must talk there. How much will you give? Well, it depends how much time you give me. If I can talk for 20 minutes, I can give so many thousands. But if I'm there only for 1 minute, I will give you only this many thousands. My picture has to be in your magazine. And if the reporters come from newspaper, Indian newspapers, that is even better. So how much I give you depends upon what I get back. Very simple, very simple. It is a discussion. It's a negotiations that how much I give you, what I get. If I don't get anything, I want to give you nothing. Don't ask me, don't come back. That is a Rajasic charity. Believe me, it happens all the time. Well, you guys are building the temple now. You will have a similar experience, not exactly the same if it doesn't come. I'll give you the example of a 6-year-old kid. He gave his grandmother on his birthday a football. What is the grandmother going to do with the football? Of course, he's going to play. Grandmother is not going to play football. And his reason was, on my birthday, my grandmother gave me Bhagavad Gita. What am I going to do with Bhagavad Gita? Why did she give me? So I'm going to give her football. And he knows that she's not going to play, so he's going to get back. So that is a Rajasic charity. And now we got only 2 minutes left. There are many more examples, but we'll skip the stories. We got 2 minutes left. Okay, so the third one is Adesha Kalaya Danam Apatrebhyascha Diyate Asatkrutam Vagyatam Tattama Samudayatam Adesha Kalaya Danam Apatrebhyascha Diyate Asatkrutam Vagyatam Tamasamudaratam. And that charity, which is given at the wrong place at the wrong time to unworthy person without showing the respect, with contempt, is held to be of, that is a tamasic charity. So let me give you a couple of quick examples. This truly happened to me. That I asked for charity. We bought the property and we spent some buying the property and getting the plans approved, and we probably will start construction in the next few months. We spent about $1.5 million, a little more than 1.7 million dollars. And we need money for now the construction. I'm not asking you. But one friend said that, listen, I don't give anything to anybody, but because you are my friend, I'm giving you this much money. And he did write a check to me. But he said, don't come back next time. There is no next time. That is a tamasic charity. That you are not giving with the best intentions. You are giving with a kind of insult and making sure don't come back. That is a tamasic charity. The another example of tamasic charity is a 20-year-old kid. The father never spends time with him, but he's a rich man. So he gives whatever a 20-year-old kid asks for. That is his way of showing love. Totally, absolutely, unequivocally tamasic. The guy smokes, he drinks, he has expensive car, drives like nuts, takes his friends to Atlantic City, uses drugs and uses women. Tell me, why should any father give money to this son? Oh, he's my son. He'll get better. He'll get better. That is a tamasic contribution, tamasic charity. Don't do that. So we crossed 2 minutes. And if you still have questions, I am waiting here. Go ahead and ask.
Jatin bhai, pranam. Thank you so much.
So, Jatin bhai, I have a question. Arunji, did you have a question or can I ask?
आप बोलिए पहले.
So you talked about the Rajasic and the Tamasic charity, and let's just talk a little bit about the Rajasic charity. So what is your advice? Do you turn it down? Because, you know, for example, our temple donations, for example, if somebody comes to us and says, all right, I'm going to give you this money, but I want, you know, XYZ in return, what do? We turn it away?
No, take it. I'll tell you why. I am also learning, just like you. So I have a very good close friend, and he runs a big temple. And there was a time I gave a significant amount, and I said, I don't want my name to be used. And he argued with me, no, I want to use your name. I said, no, but I want anonymous. He said, no. And we had a good argument. I gave up. And now I follow that rule also, that I don't mind if somebody says, write my name on the room. It's perfectly fine. Write his name. It is a Rajasic charity, but it is a charity. Remember, it is better than zero. Even Tamasic charity is a charity. It is better than zero, but it is not as good as Sattvic. Accept it. Not only that, write his name, no problem. Not only that, put the list in the magazine that this person gave this much, this person gave this much, this person gave this much. Nothing wrong with that. If somebody chooses to be anonymous, then you can write a gentleman, 10,000 anonymous. It's perfectly fine. The reason is ultimately the charity is a charity, even though it is not the best charity. And it is up to the people how they want it. It is not up to the temple. No, take the money. Take the money. There's nothing wrong with that. If when you are giving, give it to the person and organizations which you know the best will make the best use of it. That's perfectly fine. So you may not give it to some organization if you don't trust them. But if somebody is giving to your temple, take it. As long as it does not involve illegality. If he gives 10,000 and if he tells you that write me 20,000, I gave you. No, don't do that. But if he gave 10,000 and he wants his name to be somewhere on the wall, please take it and put his name. There is nothing illegal about it. Yeah, so that's my view now. So I changed my view, and I'm going to apply to my temple also, that when people say or forces that I want it to be confidential and I don't want my name to be there, I want it to be anonymous, I will keep it anonymous. But otherwise, I will keep the names on the board. One of the reasons is other people are attracted looking at the name. I want my name to be there too. Or somebody will even ask you how much people have given the most, and you can show the list of the people who have given maximum, the first 5 people. It's perfectly fine as long as those people also don't mind. So as long as people accept it and people agree, show that name. Because then instead of giving 5,000, he might give you 25,000. Well, as far as the temple is concerned, temple needs money. Temple cannot be run without the money. So we have some change in our rules because we don't have a choice. It is sometimes when you are building temple, you are in trouble. I did not give you some of the examples because we didn't have the time, but there are quite a few such examples too. I wrote it down on somewhere, this paper, but I didn't say that right now. But yes, the temple needs money. You cannot build a temple without money. So accept the money and do everything legal, but it's okay. You know, it's okay if somebody wants, it is his problem if he is full of ego. So be it. That's his problem. That's not your problem. But I certainly don't do anything illegal. So if somebody ever says that, give me bribe, I will give you the approval right now. I said, forget it. That's not going to happen. Or yeah, like something similar, that give me 5,000 cash and I'll give you 5,000 cash and give me a receipt of 10,000. No, I'm not going to do that. So you have to have your own rules and follow those rules. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jatin bhai, two things. One of the saint from the Swaminarayan Sanstha said, भगवान का काम है देना बैंक, लेना बैंक नहीं है. Whenever you donate, he always multiplies 10 times and give it back to you.
Yes, yes.
So true, because see all the temples they have built, multi-million dollars they have spent, and people, there is nobody's name on there.
True.
The second thing, my mother always said, if somebody is coming to you for a help, that means God knows you are capable of that, doing that.
Exactly.
So always say yes and do it.
Yes.
Definitely.
And I was reading about Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. He made $3.57 billion in 1 year. He had given $3.5 billion in charity. Still he made money.
There you go. Do you know that, and this is true, a lots of billionaires gave Bill Gates 50% of their wealth. So now if somebody has 25 billion, he has given 12.5 billion. And who have 50 billion, they give 25 billion. That's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Oh, he's left with a lot too. But at the same time, they all agree. And one of the multi-billionaires said, before I die, I will give 99% of my wealth. So, you know, I mean, there are people like that. We should learn from them.
My own cousin, who's only 50 years, maybe 52 years old, and he's donating all his wealth. He already made a will to the Syracuse University where he went to school.
There you go.
So I was a little surprised, but that's his choice. That's his money, what he wants to do.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, and one thing, one of the trustees said in the trustee meeting, he says, I have seen all the trustees who were working to build this temple, nobody has gotten poor. Everybody has gotten rich. So, and I always believe, I don't even say I'm giving. I say, Lord Krishna, it's your money. You gave it to me. Out of that, I'm giving it back to you.
Exactly.
It's not my money.
Exactly.
I don't own anything.
Like look down, like that another person which I was talking about, that you look down, you don't look up. Hey, I'm giving. No. Then another sentence Vivekananda said is that if you look back and keep counting what you gave, the ocean of charity becomes the droplets. So it's gone. Just do it. I mean, what is the problem? We are not taking with us.
Yeah.
There are many stories of that kind of charity also. Is that the currency in the Swarga, in the heaven, is the currency of Pap and Punya.
Right.
And this $1 billion or $1 million or $10 million, we are going to live it here.
Live it here.
There is no way you can take it. So why don't you make the best? See, the way I put it is that what kids get, they have no value.
No value.
I don't want to give it to my children, but what they get, they have no value. They're going to blow it up. Or even if they donate, we commit pap creating and collecting wealth on which they earn punya. Why can't I earn punya?
Right. Absolutely.
It is. That's what it is.
And husband and wife on
So,
also.
so sattvic charity is sattvic charity is if you give anonymous or without any expect anything, that is called sattvic charity, correct?
You don't expect anything in return, that's for sure.
That is a sattvic charity.
Yes, that is a sattvic charity.
Sattvic.
Now, whether you allow him to use your name or not is your choice, because there are benefits of allowing them to use your name. And the benefit is to the temple. The reason I gave up is because the benefit is to the temple. And I understand that. It is true. So it's your choice. But yes, you cannot expect anything in return. Otherwise, why are you giving in charity? Then it's a business.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's a business. If you want something in return, it becomes a business.
Correct.
And people do that too. But avoid it. Don't do that. Doesn't help.
Jatinji, I have a question. This is Rani.
Please, go ahead.
What is the best charity?
Okay. The scriptures here in 20th shloka, 20th shloka, it describes very clearly right location, right time, and right purpose. So let me give you the example that, let's say if you go to some of the temples in India, they have billions of dollars in the basement.
Right.
The location is correct. The purpose is also correct. The need is not there. Don't give. Now, I'm not going against any particular temple, but I'm just telling you, your money has no value there. But if somebody's starving, if somebody wants money for education, or somebody is beginning to build a temple, he has 10 times more need than those established places where there are billions of dollars hidden somewhere and are of no use.
What about the hospital? I'm sorry.
So these three things must count: the time, the place, the situation, and the charitable organization. So you judge that.
Okay.
Now, sometimes we don't know. So suppose I give it to your temple, and suppose you have a corrupt person there, which I'm not aware of, but your goal is correct. Then it's okay to give because you don't know that there is a corrupt person. And if there is a corrupt person, then it is his papa. It is not your papa, because you are not aware of it. But if you become a part of the scandal, now it is your papa. So as long as we are clean, it's perfectly fine to give.
Like sometimes in the hospital, they do like treatment, surgeries and everything without any charging anything. Yes. And they run on donations. That
yes.
is good.
Yes.
It is true. It is true. Okay. Even though the whole medical system is a very expensive system in America, but there is a lot of charity going on.
In India, even also.
Yeah, even every single doctor. I don't know any doctor who did not let go. Every single doctor let go. And people think that, oh, doctors rob. Not true. Every single doctor in every single hospital lose money. But we still give service. And the same thing happens in the offices too.
Right.
So, I mean, when you are on the other side, you realize that, oh, you know, that's what it is.
Yeah. I think that, when you are doing something and surrendering it to God, you don't look back. I mean, you don't say what I'm getting out of this.
100%. Actually, you don't want it. The one place is where if you read the description, Sattvic charity is one in which you know for sure he cannot return the favor to you. You give it to the institution or a person who is not capable of returning a favor to you. You don't want favor.
Right. But you sometimes get it in another ways.
Because it is the right thing to do. Only one statement. Because it is the right thing to do.
Right.
You do it because it is the right thing to do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Jatin.
Yes. Okay.
So I was the member of the Rotary Club in Mount Kisco and the president of the Rotary Club. And our one of the motto says, service above thyself.
Yes.
That's one of the things. It everywhere.
Yes.
Yes. That's a Rotary Club's motto. But my question to you, isn't charity is one of the biggest business in America?
Yeah.
Probably. Yes. Yes. But let me tell you, there are always some bad apples everywhere in every business, including charity. But no country that I know of has so much charitable the use of the wealth for the right reason. I mean, the way the people are being helped in medicine, the way that they build the colleges, the way they build the libraries, the way they help poor people. I mean, everything is somehow the contribution. And the good things are happening. There is no doubt about it. The people's minds are charitable minds. It's a wonderful thing. And I rather want every 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 10-year-old to learn. It is important to share. Let them learn. It's perfectly good. Yes, but I know it's a tremendous business. Yes, yes. So that organization which take 92% of what you give, you don't give. If you know from the beginning that this organization takes 90% of the money as the way to collect the money, their fees, don't give. Because you're giving 90% to the guy who is collecting and 10% for the charity. So you're giving very little in the charity. So that's what I mean, that if you know the story behind, don't do it. Like if a beggar is on drugs, don't give him money, give him a sandwich.
True.
To add to that, you would see many times they do have to show their administrative cost, and lots of organizations have just tremendously high administrative cost. And that's when you decide, because most of that money is going towards basically what you're giving in the name of managing that money or distributing that money. They're taking literally 60, 70, 80% of the money.
Yeah. I call it the best charity if the only expense of the charity is the mailing stamp, because they don't give a discount. Other than that, there should be no expense of the charitable organization. So if we go out to eat, we share. There's $100 and check bill, and 10 people are there, everybody puts $10. So we share. We don't have to take the money out from the temple to give that $100. If I can give thousands to the charity, why would I take $10 from the charitable organization? I can pay from my pocket. That should be the attitude of all the trustees.
Well, the problem is that the nonprofits and the charitable organizations are organizations, right? They're run as, I hate to use the word business, but people who are working there are also have to earn a living. So the salaries are not that high in a lot of them. Some of them there are where the CEOs and the administration is making 6-figure salaries, which I don't agree with, but they do have to make a living. So not all these organizations can run with volunteers. So that's where the money is used, and then whatever's left, then they give it to the charity, because the government doesn't support all these organizations.
Yes. What I would say is that all small Indian charitable organizations, let it be seva,
Mhm.
service. That's what we have to give back to the society. So this is how we give back to the society. Somebody's benefiting. The people are benefiting. So let them benefit. Kamleshji, are you saying something?
Well, on this point, there are a lot of NGOs, but they also have a administrator who raises funds and they are paid. So about 90 to 95% of your funds go to charity, but 5 to 10% does go for fundraising and the administrative cost. And the charity navigator and the guide star navigator, they do rate them high because they still consider it low, the administrative expenses.
Okay.
That is when you get a big, relatively big. We are talking only in the grassroots, just the beginning of a charity,
right?
Beginning of an organization.
Yours and mine is just the beginners.
Right.
We are all volunteers.
So we are all volunteers. It should we should be volunteers.
The other question is, if you are a contributor and listed as one, does it help inspire other people to contribute?
Yes.
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 That is the reason I said that I changed my mind from anonymous to my name, is because the guy insisted that your name is helping me collect more money for my temple. And agree, there is nothing wrong with that. That's okay.
One more question is, I see a lot of examples as these donors are considered pillars of the society, but their source of their donation is from unethical or fraud, a medical fraud, let's say. I don't want to pick on doctors, but they give a lot, but the money is unethically in some case.
Again, that is not the problem with the person who receives. That is the path of the person who commits that fraud. Now, if it is a completely wrong thing, you don't accept it. But I don't know if somebody is overbilling or some kind of path. That is his problem. Let him commit both pap and punya. That's fine with me. But we are not committing pap. You as a temple is not committing pap.
Jatin bhai, enjoyed your talk today. Always enjoy it. I know tame 2 week pachi you're giving us another talk. But after that, I don't know if Mandir people will agree, but I would like you to start another book or maybe Gita ji or something.
We'll discuss with you all.
Yes, I agree. Yes. We are learning so many things, from you. And we like it.
Thank you very much. At least every other week, every other Friday would be good.
Because you're always looking forward to this Friday. Okay, wow, Jatin bhai is saying something good today and we are learning something. So, we are really happy to looking forward for the Fridays when you are coming.
Okay.
But this Bhavana ji is making very good programs every Friday. So it is very interesting. It's really interesting.
Thank you.
You guys are lucky.
It's a team effort.
Yes.
And there are many volunteers we are all working together, behind the scenes. You
very
get to
nice.
see my face, but I cannot do this by myself. I assure you. It's a lot of other people behind who are involved in doing
yes, but yes.
So,
but you are the inspiration. Same way Arun bhai is working nice, Abhilash bhai is working, all the volunteers are putting their efforts to bring these things up, and it's really helpful to everybody.
Thank you.
Very nice.
You got only 3 minutes left now. I will let you conclude.
Thank you.
I have one small request, Jatin bhai.
Sure.
And I will talk about it very openly, and which is a pet peeve of mine with the Indian community, is that we are a very divided community. And it's very difficult to bring in all the community work that I do, it's very difficult to bring all of us together and to think collectively with an eye on what is going to benefit the community and to put our own interests aside, right? Um, Even here in this country where we really need to become one as Indians, we stay divided as Maharashtrians, Gujaratis, South Indians, Keralites, Punjabis, Sikhs. We we have this innate inability to kind of come together, and it's a problem. It's a real problem for us because we don't have that strength of a community. So maybe perhaps someday you could talk a little bit about that and how do we bring, maybe that's a chat you and I need to have individually. I don't know, one-on-one. But how
I'm
do we
also
how do
looking
we
for
do this? How do
solutions.
we do this? It's very frustrating and it's very sad. It's very saddening and disheartening to see this happening.
Okay. I understand. I understand. Yeah.
Because I think we have so much, we do so much, individually. And I see our community giving so much back to this country, but it's all diluted because we don't do it as one.
I kind of agree. We lucked out because we have North Indian, South Indian, East Indian, West Indian, white people, Gujaratis, everybody is in our institution.
Mm-hmm.
But all we can do, keep humility, respect everybody, do the best you can. People will ultimately realize and be with you. If somebody doesn't think the way you think, that is his problem. But if you are honest and if you do the right thing, people will get attracted to you.
I couldn't agree more than you. I couldn't agree more. Absolutely right. And I always say, I give you a small example. My son was so frustrated. He was working hard and his boss promised him a promotion. And then came to me, he goes, Dad, I said, no, don't be upset. Hard work always pays. It may be in the long run, but it will pay you. So 6 months later, he got such a beautiful job with a big company. And he said, Dad, you were right. So you have to have patience. You have to have patience. We've been brought up, I'm Punjabi, I'm Gujarati, I'm Madrasi. Two Marathas meet, doesn't matter how many people are standing, they will talk in Marathi. Forget about you.
You run after Narayan, you will get Lakshmi.
That's right.
Don't run after Lakshmi.
No.
Run away, but run after Narayan.
That's it. That's it. So we'll keep on praying, keep on trying, and maybe our children one day will understand, and they do. I mean, to do them, no Madrasi, no Gujarati, they are friends. Eventually maybe lead to that point where they say we all want.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jatin bhai.
Thank you. Hari Om. Hari
Your
Om.
talks are always so nice and very very inspiring. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
चंद्र जी आप समाप्त करेंगे?
जी जी स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मोक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मोक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मोक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। असतो मा सद्गमया तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमया मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमया। लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु। लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु। लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ द्यौ शान्ति अन्तरिक्षगं शान्ति पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरोषधयः शान्ति वनस्पतयः शान्ति विश्वे देवा शान्ति ब्रह्मा शान्ति सर्वगं शान्ति शान्तिरेव शान्ति सामा शान्तिरेधि। शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःख भाग् भवेत्। अब सब तन मन धन से सुखी रहें, यही भगवान के माँ के चरण कमलों में मेरी प्रार्थना है और ऐसे ही मंदिर की सेवा करते रहें। तो इसी के साथ का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। शुभ रात्रि शुभ रात्रि शुभ रात्रि।
थैंक यू अरुण जी।
पंकज भाई थैंक यू। अंजू जी थैंक यू। अंजू अरोड़ा जी
Thank you. Thank you, Arun ji.
Everybody, good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.